What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing a compilation of the 25 craziest, spiciest, most insane battles from the videos I've made this season. So this is essentially going to feel like a battle of spice, but with just myself taking part. The reason I've put this video together now and not towards the final couple days of the season is because we're now in that final week of the season, and as usual I've been attempting to win in the Open Master League with a team of Great League Pokemon, and for like the 4th season in a row, and after about 500 battles across all of those seasons, I have still not been able to face the exact team I've been trying to defeat, which obviously really sucks. It means I haven't been able to succeed this challenge yet, and I'm now well below 2000 elo. The teams down here don't make any sense whatsoever. People obviously just putting whatever they have into a team, and I've basically given up for the season, so don't expect to see any new battles from me this season, but I might as well end this season with a banger video. And if any of you are fairly new here, there are going to be some outrageous battles that you definitely won't have seen, and you will certainly appreciate this video. And if you have been subscribed to the channel for a long time, you're still absolutely going to enjoy these battles. But with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What has been your favourite video that I've put out this season? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's just get into the battles now. But even if we had a little bit more health, they would have got to a focus blast just as they took me out there. So GG's to that opponent. Once again, Charm absolutely ruining our life, but that is absolutely okay. We're not going to see too many Charm users in this meta, so my opponent's going to swap into a Giratina. We've got so much energy. We're going to be spamming these Dragon Claws at an alarming rate. This Giratina probably just isn't prepared for it, so we're going to go to nearly 100 energy, go for a Dragon Claw. This will be doing big damage. We go for another Dragon Claw, and we're just one mud shot away from a 3rd Dragon Claw in a row, and we get there. They go for the farm down, they don't get the farm down, and Dragon Claw grabs both shields from the Giratina. Now I can come in with my own Giratina, fully farm them down. I will be able to tank 2 charge moves from this range, and I should leave with very minimal health, but pretty much a charge move loaded. Now we do bank the Shadow Ball there, come in with our Haxorus. I'm going to have to shield in this matchup. They go for the foul play, and now they're going to come in with a Tapu Fini, and all shields are down, so we can safely go for the Earthquake. Earthquake will do massive damage to the Tapu Fini. Can we get to the Night Slash? Barely not able to, which is unfortunate. Moonblast takes out the Haxorus, and now we have to commit to the farm down, and we barely get it. We have like 2 HP remaining, a Shadow Ball loaded, and Shadow Ball takes out the Berserker, and I'm able to take that game. Farm me down instead, and I end up losing that game. So I actually would have won that game if I just went for the Shadow Ball there, so massive mistake by me. But now we have changed the team up. We're running Shadow Zapdos in the lead, but right now we're Stone Edging that knocked out. It feels so good. We've had a few bad matchups in a row where we've not done too well, but we are back to Stone Edging these flying types, and we flip switch against a very important team to flip switch advantage because they're actually running a double flying team. So here we now have the alignment we want, and it is going to be the Swampert coming back in, of course, after we take out the Pidgeot. Gonna shield this up. I do now have the energy for a Drill Peck, so I'm gonna bank it. They did debuff me against that Pidgeot, so now I can grab both shields from this Swampert, and I will put them into range with my counter damage, where the Drill Peck will now be enough to take out the Swampert. I get to a 2nd Leaf Blade. This will grab the final shield from the Swampert, and they have to go for the Earthquake as well, I believe, as a Hydro Cannon barely won't take us out. Earthquake does take us out though, but I get to the Drill Peck. Drill Peck gonna be enough to take out the Swampert, and I'm able to take that game. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead into a Galvantula. Absolutely dreadful lead for us. I'm going to safe swap into Articuno this time. I did mention Moltres was my normal safe swap, but with the Articuno, I will be able to outpace the Galvantula, and worst case scenario, I get both shields with the Ancient Power, but they will be able to fully farm me down, which is certainly not ideal. We've grabbed both shields, but they've got so much loaded energy. I'm going to come in with my Moltres, and I'm actually going to call that they just go for a lunge, and they do do go for the debuff instead, which is perfect for me. They're going to get to another charge move here, but I should be able to make it to the Ancient Power, so my opponent swaps into a Medicham. I'm now going to come in with my Zapdos. They have debuffed me, so I also am not running Brave Bird on my Moltres because I've got Wing Attack there, but on the other two Pokemon, because they do have a Fighting or a Psychic type fast move, I am running Brave Bird. But here, we go for the Brave Bird, we get to the Ancient Power up against this Galvantula. They try to farm me down. We take out the Galvantula, and they've got a Jellicent in the back. We can get to a payback. Is this going to be enough damage to take out the Jellicent? No, but we're able to get the Wing Attack farm down just as they get the energy for that game. So very interesting play by my opponent there, but into the final battle, and this is the most eventful battle of them all, so you guys are really in for a treat with this one. My opponent goes for a Bone Club here. They are running Hex, and I'm going to go for a Rock Slide, and unfortunately they will get to another Bone Club just in time there, so I swap out. And I'm like, that's not enough damage for a Fire Blast already, right? Nope, Fire Blast takes me out, and I think I've just completely thrown this game, so this is not good. I'm going to overfarm here, go for the Rock Slide on the CMP tie, and we're going to see what my opponent wants to do here. They actually let it go through, and they come back in with Galvantula, so I'm like, okay, maybe they've got another fire type in the back. Even still, there's no way I can win this, right? But then my opponent goes for the farm down, underestimating the energy. Rock Slide takes them out, and they've got Shadow Charizard in the back, and we're running Razor Leaf, and yet we should be able to get to a Night Slash in this matchup on the CMP tie, and we do get there. Is this Night Slash enough to do... is this enough damage? Yes, it is, and we even get a boost. The only boost I got here, but it takes out the Charizard. Into the next game, we see a Shadow Zapdos in the lead. You love to see it. I'm going to stay in initially and then try to catch the move and get a Volt Switch through. This is absolutely massive. Drill Peck is resisted, and my opponent comes in with a Quagsire, so not very good for me here. A massive Core Breaker to the team, but we do grab a shield from the Shadow Ball, but they fully farm me down, which is certainly not good because they can of course run Stone Edge, so even though we only take neutral damage from the ground type moves or resisted damage on my Zapdos, Stone Edge will threaten both Pokemon here. We're going to go for a Fury Cutter and, a Lunge, and we do debuff their attack and land it, so that's great, but Stone Edge still takes me out. Gonna come in with my Shadow Zapdos, go for the Drill Peck on the CMP tie with the Quagsire. We take them out here, and my opponent's gonna come back in with their own Zapdos. We're once again gonna go for the Drill Peck here, and this, even though it's resisted, takes out the Shadow Zapdos, and they've got an Incinerate, Shadow Typhlosion. We get to the Drill Peck here. Is this going to grab the shield? Yes, it does. Can we get to the second Drill Peck? Yes, we can because of the new mechanic. And Drill Peck takes out the Shadow Typhlosion, and I'm able to take that. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Articuno into Bruxish. This is awful for us, but the great thing is that I will be able to make it to a Brave Bird before they get to a charge move, so I can go for the Brave Bird, grab the shield, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I can come in with my Malamar, and this is a really comfortable matchup. I can let the charge move go through absolutely fine. They actually bait with the Psychic Fangs, perfectly fine with me. It's triple resisted. We get to the foul play. We take out the Bruxish. They come in with their own Malamar here, and they're going to go for a foul play pretty much straight away, so that's perfectly fine with me. I can tank it. I'm going to build to the Hyper Beam and go for a foul play, and this should be able to threaten a shield against this opponent, and I do grab a shield. I get to a second foul play, and my opponent still won't be able to Psycho Cut, farm me down, so they swap into Victini. I've got a 2 shield advantage, so even though this is an awful matchup, usually I can safely double shield, farm up to 100 energy, and because they have to go for V-Create, they will lower their defense severely, so I will be able to take them out with a Meteor Mash, and I've got 100 energy. So the first Meteor Mash takes out the Victini, we win the CMP tie up against the Malamar, and this second Meteor Mash will be enough to take out the Malamar, and I'm able to take that back. So fortunate for me that they were running double fairy there. But into the next game, we see another Bruxish in the lead. Not very good once again, but we're going to swap into the Slowbro. The opponent actually swaps out into their Galarian Slow King. We're going to be able to make it to 2 serves here, trying to throw on the CMP tie, but the opponent doesn't throw straight away. We do land the second surf, which is big. They've now farmed to a Surf and a Shadow Ball, so that's fine. Gonna let us go down here. Gonna come in with my Galarian Slow King. I will shield this up, should be a Shadow Ball, it is a Shadow Ball, and my opponent is going to be coming in next with a Galarian Rapidash. Gonna go straight for the Shadow Ball, no point in baiting here, and if this does land, which it does land, oh my gosh, why didn't they shield that? And now here, I'm actually going to be able to fully fast move down a Bruxish. And my opponent has no more opportunities to use a shield here. Gonna get as much hex damage as possible. Come in with my slow poke, by the opponent there. Into the next game, we see a Shadow Sudowoodo in the lead. Gonna swap out into my Archeops here, and this is a bit tricky here. We're gonna go for a Crunch. This will do some nice damage though. Even though it's non-stab, these Pokemon have very high attack stats. The opponent does shield it up, unfortunately, but I get to a Dragon Claw. Hopefully grab a second shield. No, they just let it go through. That's also perfectly fine here. I'm going to come back in with my Shadow Marwile and call that they're not going for an Earthquake. I think that's my only real play here, and they do just go for a Rock Slide, which is really nice. Now I'm going to shield this up and then probably swap into my Archeops straight away to farm them down, but they swap into Shadow Shiny Lapras, and yeah, I go for the Ancient Power, but they let it go through and it takes out the Shadow Lapras. That was insane damage. Ancient Power isn't even that good of a move, and they come in with an Alolan Sandslash. No way, we might actually have a chance here. They let the Dragon Claw go through. Gonna go straight for that Power Punch. Gonna be double super effective. They're obviously gonna shield, but it's gonna ramp up my Fire Fang damage, and they also make a mistake of throwing their energy here instead of going for a Shadow Claw, and now I'm able to Fire Fang, farm down the Sudowoodo, and take that game. Into the next game, we see Cresselia in the lead this time around. I'm going to stay in with my Salazzle, and I will farm up to 100 energy before throwing a charge move. They did go up to the Future Sight. It is Future Sight, so that's a really good shield there. That would have completely one-shot me. And now, once again, Cresselia, very bulky, so I actually go for the debuffing move first, and now I can commit to that Fire Blast. And with the debuff, Fire Blast takes out the Cresselia. They come in with Swampert. I'm going to swap into my Kyurem there. Nearly swapped into the Abomasnow, but that was fine. We didn't go into it. We bait out the Scrafty. They've got Power Up Punch, and here Scrafty isn't quite as bulky as Cresselia. We make it to the Draco Meteor, and Draco Meteor one-shots the Scrafty. We take them out. We flip that switch there, and at this point, this Swampert is absolutely loaded with energy. I'm just going to come in with my Salazzle, force them to throw right away, and they're going to do that, so I'm happy to let Salazzle go down. Put it all on my Abomasnow. We're down a shield, but we should be pretty comfortable as long as they're not running Sludge Wave. They are running Earthquake, and you can see that that actually does quite a lot of damage. Does nearly 50%, and a second Earthquake will be threatening here, but we should still have this game in the bag. Gonna shield just in case they full send another Earthquake, which they do, and now I can safely get to the back-to-back Weather Balls. The first one will grab a shield. They certainly don't have a second Earthquake already, and the second Weather Ball will be enough to take out the Swampert, and I'm able to take that game. Into the next game, we see Diggersby in the lead. Pretty good lead for us. Of course, a Fire Punch will absolutely one-shot us here, so I have to shield. Fire Punch comes through, and now I'm going to be able to get to a Leaf Blade just before they make it to the second Fire Punch. And if they do shield here, then I'm going to swap, catch the move onto my Dugtrio. Dugtrio is the safe swap. I think it's a very flexible Pokemon. And here we bait out a Frostlass, but we're running Stone Edge. My opponent probably not seen a Dugtrio before, and they don't respect the damage coming from Stone Edge. I'm able to one-shot them, and they've got Escavalier in the back, so this is a pretty common team, a team that I was hoping to see with my last team quite a lot. Unfortunately, only saw it once, but it doesn't matter. Drill Run takes us out, but I can safely Razor Leaf farm down both Pokemon and take that game. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Shadow Donphan into Shadow Gliscor. Gonna instantly safe swap into Dwebble, and the opponent responds with Lucario. This is an absolute hard wall as it double resists all of my moves here, but the bonus of running a Pokemon like Dwebble instead of Crustle is that the opponent won't know what charge moves we're running, and they do use a shield despite that double resisted Rock Tomb, and as well Rock Tomb has that guaranteed attack drop, so we do counteract the Power Up Punch. I'm going to shield here. They do have enough for a Shadow Ball. They bait me with a Power Up Punch, unfortunately, and they make it to a second charge move, which certainly isn't great for us, but I'm going to let it go through, and I'm going to instantly swap into the Sandshrew. The opponent responds with Empoleon. They are absolutely hard countering my backline so far. We go for a Night Slash, we get the boost, and this might just be enough to flip this matchup. Gonna shield here, they go for a Hydro Cannon, gonna go for a Night Slash after one more Powder Snow, and this does grab the final shield from the opponent. Gonna overfarm throw here, go for another Night Slash, and they are one Waterfall away from the Hydro Cannon, but we get the farm down, and we also get to a Night Slash here up against the Gliscor. This does big damage, and 2 Powder Snows is enough to take out the Gliscor, and we take that game. Into the next game, we see a Dragonite in the lead. This is a bit tricky for me. What I typically do is just stay in and get off a charge move, and if they do let it go through, I'm going to swap into Hypno and try and farm them down before they get to another charge move. But here, we're going for that Sludge Bomb. It does connect. I swap into the Hypno. The opponent responds with Registeel. That's not ideal for me here, but I will be able to comfortably tank any charge move they throw. They go for a Zap Cannon. Unfortunately, it debuffs my attack, so even though I am running Focus Blast, it's just not going to do that much damage. But we do grab a shield from the opponent, and I'll take any sort of advantage in this matchup, as it is not a winning matchup. They now go for a Focus Blast, take me out. I'm going to come in with my Girafarig here. The opponent will make it to another Zap Cannon. I'm going to shield here. I will be able to get a lot of energy here. And the opponent swaps into a Muck. Unfortunately, they did debuff my attack once again. We go for Psychic Fangs. And now I'm going to swap into my Weezing. Just force them to throw their energy pretty much straight away. And they do go for that Thunder Punch. I'm now going to go for another Psychic Fangs, and this unfortunately won't quite take them out, but I will be able to fully double kick farm down this Muck. I'm going to shield here. Unfortunately, I have to shield. Thunder Punch, even though it's only a neutral non-stab move, would still do quite a lot of damage. They come in with the Dragonite. We've got back-to-back charge moves loaded. We go for the Psychic Fangs. The opponent lets it go through, and now here I have to go for a bait to win this. If my opponent does shield up the Psychic Fangs, which they do, I'm going to reach the Thunderbolt in time, and now this Thunderbolt will be enough to take out the Registeel, and I'm able to take that game. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead into a Trevenant, absolute worst lead we could see. So we're going to swap out into my Klefki. The opponent is actually staying in, and they do make it to a Shadow Ball before I can get to that foul play. They actually bait with a Seed Bomb, which is unfortunate. They eventually swap into Tentacle. Usually this is a matchup where I am able to flip it, but I'm already down one shield, so I don't really want to expend both shields this early in the game, because a naked Shadow Marwell is not very strong. We're going to let the charge move go through. It's an Acid Spray, so we do actually tank it here. And at this point, the opponent's going to have to throw another charge move. Unfortunately, they barely get there in time. Acid Spray does take me out, even though it is net resisted. I'm going to come in with Gastrodon, instantly swap into my Shadow Marwell. The opponent responds with a Shadow Wall Rain, and this is a matchup I can flip, but unfortunately, I am down a shield here. They go straight for the Icicle Spear. I'm going to go for that Iron Head. No baiting here, and Iron Head does connect. It takes him out, but unfortunately, Shadow Marwell just doesn't have enough health remaining, and these Seed Bombs are seriously going to hurt my Gastrodon here. First one does go shielded. They're already at the second Seed Bomb, and Seed Bomb actually doesn't take us out, and I'm able to Mudslap, farm down the Trevenant, and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see a Lantern in the lead. Gonna swap into my Kingdra. The opponent responds with Galarian Weezing, and this is another matchup where we could potentially flip it with that Blizzard. Unfortunately, very slow to get there. They're going for the full farm down. We get to the Blizzard in time. Blizzard one-shots the Galarian Weezing, and we flip the matchup up against a Fairy type with a Dragon Breath user. That is insane, and now we completely wall this Lantern, double resisting everything they can throw. They go for a Surf. It does absolutely nothing. I'm just going to commit to the full farm down. I know they're going to swap out before that, and they do swap into a Shadow Marwell. We're going to go for the Seed Bomb here. It will deal some nice damage, actually, considering it is resisted, because we are both Shadows. I come in with my Shadow Golduck. We've still got 2 shields remaining, so at this point, I might as well start shielding. Gonna go for the Cross Chop here. We will make it to another Cross Chop before they make it to the second charge move, and in actual fact, they get fully confusion farmed down, and I can make it to the back-to-back cross chops in time. But my opponent is actually going to let the cross chop go through. They recognize there was no more win. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead into a Tentacruel, and what I found is that Tentacruel is a fairly common lead, so it makes the most sense for me to lead with my Cacturne, as this is actually a matchup we do win. But the opponent goes for Scald instead of Acid Spray. That nearly takes me out. I go for the Leaf Blade at the last second. They catch it on Ferrothorn and farm me down with a Bullet Seed, so we're not off to the best start here. Gonna swap into my Shadow Cacturne. Gonna shield. They're only running Thunder, so that means I can, even though I am incredibly glassy, at least survive the next charge move. So I go for a Dynamic Punch. The opponent does use a shield. They do outpace me to the charge move, but I can at least let this go through. Thunder, even resisted, does so much damage, but we do barely make it to the Dynamic Punch, taking out the Ferrothorn, and we're going to instantly swap into our Shadow Sharpedo. And I'm running Bite on my Sharpedo for the reason that I can farm down water types, and also so I can farm down Trevenant. And look at that Bite damage. They get to a charge move, it does not matter. We've got that shield remaining. We're able to Bite, farm down the Trevenant, and take that game. Close game there. And into the next battle, we see another Vigoroth in lead. What a surprise. It's the most common Pokemon in this meta, so you will be seeing it quite a lot. Gonna go for the Ice Punch. The opponent does respect the damage, and now I'm gonna swap into my Fracture. We're behind on energy. I'm gonna have to shield. That's why I did stay in initially with my Haunter, and now I get the farm down, come out with energy loaded. Gonna go straight for that Dragon Claw up against the Celio that comes in, and unfortunately they will farm me down before I get to another charge move. So what we're going to do here, we come in with Armor Choke, and we are going to shield the first charge move from the Celio. They go for the Body Slam, and I'm just going to force them to throw their Body Slam straight away. And Body Slam does go through. It doesn't do too much damage. We're at the back-to-back cross chops here, but cross chop won't be enough to take them out here. So I'm actually going to swap, catch the Body Slam onto my Haunter, and now I really hope that I'm still going to have enough health to get to an Ice Punch here. It's going to be so close, but we get there in time, and that is absolutely vital, because Ice Punch puts them into range where a cross chop will take them out, and we win the CMP tie. So cross chop takes out the Vigoroth. Can we get the farm down? Yes, we can. And we take that game. Execute does go down there, but honestly it nearly 1v3'd the entire team, so it did pretty well there. Into the next game, the opponent is lagging, so I'm going to wait for them to catch back up, and they have caught up now. They swap, they try to catch a move onto Trevenant. We're going to go for that Stone Edge. It does connect, and now I'm going to go for the catch onto my Execute, and we do catch the Seed Bomb, which will be resisted, and they're so low now that I'm actually going to be able to Confusion farm them down before they make it to a Shadow Ball, so I can comfortably tank this move, get the farm down, and the opponent's going to come probably back in with their Galarian Stunfisk. No, they come in with a Noctowl, so we commit to the Psychic, and Psychic will do some decent damage up against the Noctowl, and we get the defense drop, which is huge, because now I can come in with my Phalanx, and I should just be able to double shield here. So going to shield the first Sky Attack, going to throw the Superpower on the CMP tie with the next Sky Attack, and then I expect the opponent will probably swap into their Stunfisk to try and snipe me, but I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to swap into my Dugtrio, go for that Mud Bomb straight away, and this will grab the final shield from the opponent, and the opponent overfarms, allowing me to get to a second Mud Bomb. That's huge, because now they're going to be in range for me to counter farm them all the way down, and the opponent does commit to the Earthquake, and so they won't make it to another Earthquake in time. We get the farm down, and we get to a Superpower in time, and this will be enough damage to take out the Noctowl, and we take that game. Into the next battle, we see a load of Ninetales in the lead. Not very good. They're also running Charm, so I really want to get rid of this Ninetales as soon as possible. We go for a Discharge Bait here. The opponent does end up shielding, so that's amazing for me, and now we do make it to a Play Rough, but I didn't want to throw it on alignment, and now the opponent does actually throw a charge move just before I get to my Play Rough here, so going to go for it now, and I'm hoping they let this go through, but they do double shield their Charmer, and that is so much pain. Going to go for a farm down, but the opponent excuse me there, swaps into Vigoroth, probably banking a Weather Ball, but I'm going to be able to shield once in this matchup and then fully counter farm down the Vigoroth and come out with so much loaded energy. So they go for the Body Slam. It does get me very low, but I will win the CMP tie if they come in with the Ninetales, which they do, and close combat will easily be enough to take out the Ninetales. They've got Medicham in the back. Unfortunately, we don't make it to a Brave Bird because of our lower defense. Close combat is resisted. It doesn't do too much damage. We get to the Aerial Ace. We throw it on the CMP tie. Is it enough to take out Medicham? Yes, it is, and we take that game. Into the next battle, we see an Arcanine, yet another pretty spicy pick for the Weather Cup. So very cool to see. The opponent's going to stay in and they just go straight for a Psychic Fangs. That is absolutely fine. We'll let it go through. They now swap into Kingdra. I'm going to get off a charge move and then I will swap into my Kyurem here. So we go for the crunch. No debuff unfortunately, but we come in with the Kyurem, and as long as we don't get debuffed, we should be able to Dragon Breath farm them down. And there was no debuff there, so pretty fortunate for us. But they're now going to come in with Empoleon, and this is going to be great for us here because we go for the Draco Meteor. It does over 50% of their health. Even though it's resisted, we can come in with our Palkia and we should be able to just Dragon Breath, farm them down after shielding once. The opponent is going to overfarm massively. This could actually be a Blizzard, so I will respect the damage. It is just a Drill Peck, so nice play by the opponent. Gonna go for an Aqua Tail here, and I'm expecting they are running Wild Charge, so I'm going to swap after the next fast move, and we are able to catch it onto our Reshiram, and Wild Charge, even resisted, does take out the Reshiram, but it lowers their defense, allowing me to farm them down, get to an Aqua Tail up against Empoleon, and even resisted. This will be enough to take out the Empoleon and take that game. GG's, very well played, and I do very much appreciate that they're running my old team, especially since it's a very spicy team. Of course, not running the Haxorus, but my guess is that they just don't have it, but very cool. And into this next battle, we stay in initially, counter 8, swap and catch the Earthquake onto Mew. They come in with Water Gun Lantern, which is not ideal because we only have resisted charge moves, but the great thing about Mew is that the opponents have no idea what you're running, and we actually grab a shield there. So that's absolutely huge, and we come in with Sudowoodo. You might think that's weird, but honestly, the charge move damage will go to waste up against the Stunfisk, so I might as well go for a Meteor Beam up against Lantern. That does so much damage, boosts our attack, and we get the farm down. They come back in with Galarian Stunfisk, and at this point, I'm just going to shield and fully farm them down, expecting a Knocked-Out in the back. We get the farm down, we have so much energy loaded, we go for a Rock Slide, it is a Knocked-Out in the back, we grab the shield, and now we can go for a Meteor Beam, and guess how much damage this does to Knocked-Out? It one-shots them, and we boost our attack, and we take that game. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead into a Scrafty Nightmare lead for us. So gonna swap into my Sneasel, sorry, and the opponent does respond with a Jellicent, so completely hard-walling me here. All of these moves are going to be resisted. X-Scissor doesn't even tickle the Jellicent. We're going to go for another X-Scissor, although they will start adding up over time, and we might actually get them into the yellow health. Yes, we do. The opponent finally going to throw a charge move, and they go for a Bubble Beam. So not running Surf, that's good to know. It means that after this matchup, Weavile doesn't really need to shield anything, and we can go for a full Snarl farm down. The opponent does go for one final Bubble Beam to take out the Sneasel, and now I can come in with the Weavile, get a full farm down. They will make it to multiple Bubble Beams, but even debuffed, this Focus Blast will still do massive damage if the Scrafty does come back in. So I'll let the second Bubble Beam go through, and we do now have the Focus Blast loaded. Gonna full send it, even double debuffed. Focus Blast one-shots the Scrafty. They come in with a Fire Spin, Shadow Alolan Marowak, and at this point we can safely double shield and commit to a full Shadow Claw farm down. No point in throwing any of the energy here because it will just waste an opportunity for me to throw more fast moves. We showed up the second move there, and we are barely able to get the Shadow Claw farm down and take that game. So GG's to that opponent. Into the next battle, we see a Trevenant in the lead. This isn't so bad because of our part normal typing, meaning we actually don't take super effective damage from these Shadow Claws and Shadow Balls, but actually resisted damage. So we go for a Psychic Fangs. Honestly doesn't do very much damage, and Double Kick is double resisted, but a second Psychic Fangs honestly might grab a shield in this matchup, and we do get that shield. So at this point I'm pretty happy with Girafarig. I'm gonna let it go down. They did overfarm though, so they will barely be able to make it to a Shadow Ball up against my Shadow Ho-Oh here, which is not ideal. I'm gonna have to use a shield here, but I will get the Incinerate farm down, come out with a ton of loaded energy, and once again gonna go for the Rock Slide catch, catching as they get to it straight away. And now the opponent is going to stay in initially and eventually swap into their Noctowl, and now we have a big energy advantage. I should be able to go for a Blizzard, and I don't really anticipate my opponent using a shield in this matchup, so we full send the Blizzard up against the Noctowl, and it one-shots the Noctowl, and now this should be an easy game for me. The opponent throws straight away. I can let this move go through and just commit to yet another Incinerate farm down up against a Galarian Stunfisk, and I should be able to win this game. Gonna shield up the Rock Slide here. Rock Slide, Incinerate does take them out, and we take that game. To that opponent there, not a lot they could have done in all honesty, but into the next battle we see a Shadow Swampert in the lead. Very bad lead for Salandit, and actually all three Pokemon do lose to Swampert, so it's going to take a bit of a team effort to get rid of it, but they do let the Dragon Claw go through, and I'm actually really happy about that. I can now shield in this matchup. I will be able to force a CMP tie, and I win CMP as well, so this should now grab a shield from the opponent, and at this point I can let my Shadow Flygon go down. I'm pretty happy to grab the shield back, and now I can come in with my Donphan and get a full counter farm down. So the opponent's going to instantly swap into Talonflame. I swap back into my Salandit here. The opponent going to go for a charge move here. I don't care if they Brave Bird me. That's fine. They actually go for the Flame Charge bait. And now I can go for a Poison Fang up against this Talonflame. And the opponent actually uses a shield there. They're going to go for a Flame Charge straight away. Absolutely fine with me. Gonna let it go through. It will take me out. But now I come in with my Donphan here. Gonna go for a full counter farm down. We get the farm down. That's huge. They've got Blaziken in the back. We go for an Earthquake. This will easily be enough damage to one-shot the Blaziken, and now I can counter, farm down the Swampert, and take that game. Alright, so going into the first battle, this is actually the first battle I did with the team. We lead into Virizion, awful lead, and the opponent responds with my Alolan Exeggutor safe swap with a Walrein, so things are looking very bad for us. I'm actually going to shield the Icicle Spear here, wanting to grab a shield back, but also knowing that these Dragon Tails are actually chunking this Walrein a fair bit, and the opponent throws just before I make it to Seed Bomb number 2, so very good timing by this opponent, but luckily it means they can't really overfarm, so now I'm going to come back in with my Wailord. I will have to tank an Earthquake from this range, but I will be able to do that, and even if they do get to another Icicle Spear before I'm able to take them out, I should still be able to live that. So here I'm going to let this Icicle Spear go through. I know that the Surf isn't going to do that much damage, so I'm going to farm to nearly 100 energy, go for the Surf here up against the Walrein, and a little bit more Water Gun damage, and I'm able to take them out. Now I'm expecting the Virizion to come back in, so I barely make it to the Blizzard in time. Do they respect the damage? They don't! It nearly one-shots them, and they've got an Aggron in the back, and does this opponent know that I'm running Bulldoze on my Celesteela here? Gonna full send it, and Bulldoze does connect. It's double super effective damage, and even though it's not a good move, we nearly take them out here. I can shield the Meteor Beam, get the Air Slash farm down, and farm down the Virizion to take that game. That game. But into the next battle, and this is the Pidgeot lead we're wanting to see. The opponent's going to swap into the Jellicent, and everything is working perfectly so far. The opponent only goes after 4 hexes, so it's just going to be a Surf or a Bubble Beam, so I can safely let that go through. If they went to 5, I actually would have considered shielding there, because Shadow Ball, even though it is still resisted, does do a lot more damage, and it just makes it a little bit dicey. But now I can safely double shield in this matchup. The opponent's going to go for a Surf here. They will be able to put me into range where a final Surf will take me out, so I'm going to have to double shield in this matchup, but that is absolutely fine with me. Going to shield the second Surf here. Going to go for the full Razor Leaf farm down. I don't mind if they come in with the Pidgeot or the Cobalion. Going to go straight for the Leaf Tornado here, and this will not do an awful lot of damage, hoping for the debuff, but I don't get it. They're able to farm me down. Gonna come in with the Bastiodon, but I will swap out immediately, expecting the swap, and they do come in with the Cobalion. Things are working perfectly so far. Now they're going to go for a charge move here. They did build up to the Stone Edge, but they go for the Sacred Sword here. Sacred Sword is more energy efficient, but I think if they went for a Sacred Sword and a Stone Edge, that will nearly do enough damage to take me out. But the opponent lets the Dynamic Punch go through, and now I will be able to let this go through, fully counter farm them down, and that is going to be game over because I have my Bastiodon aligned with the Pidgeot. It does not matter that they've still got a shield advantage. Pidgeot can do literally nothing up against Bastiodon. It will not even be able to tickle it. That's how useless it is up against the Bastion. You can see here, they're going to go for a Feather Dance most likely. Feather Dance doesn't do anything. We actually gained health from that. Now the opponent is going to go for another charge move just before they go down here, and even if they go for the Brave Bird, we're still not going to take any damage here. Brave Bird does nothing. We're able to get the Smackdown farm down and easily RPS our way through possibly the strongest core in the entire Ultra League. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And as for my response, this is really difficult because I'm really proud of a lot of the videos I've made this season, of course, but if I had to pick two favorites, the first one would be my triple 100% IV Shadow Pokemon for the Open Ultra League, because that video cost me like 2 million Stardust to build those 3 Pokemon. None of them are very good, but together I was still able to pull off some crazy wins like the win you did see in this video. And the other one is going to be the why use 3 Pokemon in the Go Battle League when you can use 15, because that's probably one of the most unique team ideas anyone's come up with, and yeah, it just worked really well. Some of those battles in that video are also insane, so really proud of that video. But if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.